Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Mid-South Wrestling Review for the 11th of February, 1984. They open with a Magnum TA music video, and then we go to Midnight Express against Heggie and Adias. Obviously, the Midnight Express still wants to be at the top of the game. Jim Cornette does the basic introduction for the Midnight Express, Condrey and Eaton, and we are off to the races. We continue through our foray here. And certainly the Midnight Express this time is they are decked out in yellow and green, and the Midnight Express still not your tag team champions quite yet, and also useful information that the Rock and Roll Express I think will be here within a couple of weeks. Anyway, so that's a good thing, at least for the advancement of things here. Anyway, Cornette happy with his team, and you see the Midnight Express cutting off the ring almost in the first couple of minutes. Bobby Eaton takes over with a couple of shots, and the enhancement talent does get a few offensive maneuvers. Actually, that's one thing that the Express does really well, is give their other talents an opportunity. Adias is the, I guess, leader in that. Hits a few body slams and consistent tags by the Midnight Express. Adias manages the head scissors, kind of rolls through with that. Cut off into the leg grapevine and other basic things. Bobby Eaton gets side headlock takeover and pretty well beat up for, or Adias gets beat up for a little bit. They cut the ring off into the corner, body slams by Condrey, and Eaton comes back in, drops the elbows, tags off, and we see again more back elbows. Meanwhile, Adias, who manages to take the majority of the match here before making a, I guess you'd say, a lukewarm tag to his opponent, who has less experience, so that may not have been the best idea. But anyway, back elbow, and then the top, second rope. I think second rope. I don't think they went to the top. Second rope on the inside, elbow by Bobby Eaton, and again, Eaton really masterful at not wasting any motion in the ring. Anyway, Condrey brings his man out with a vertical suplex, snap style, gets him over pretty quickly, and big body slams again by Condrey. Condrey also manages to do everything he can to get things going in a positive direction. Tag off and the power slam from the second rope on the inside. Condrey kind of diving, falling with that, and doesn't go for the immediate victory. Instead, they go with the hanging elbow from the top double team, and the Midnight Express are victorious. Masahito and Leaping Lanny Poffo is up next. Ito, again, has been a heel who has been causing a good bit of chaos. Poffo really hasn't found his stride here, kind of an enhancement talent, maybe a little bit above that. Good baby face, and it's sad that he doesn't get more play here in Mid-South, although by the later in 84, he's in Memphis and things are going well for him. And in less than 2 years, he's in the WWF, so, not a big deal. But still trying to find his way. Anyway, side headlock by, by Lanny, and Lanny doing everything he can. Stays with the headlock for quite a bit. Doesn't get everything he wants on it, but gets enough. And ultimately, some shots there, shots to the back, and we get a inverted shin crusher by Ito, and Ito comes back up and kind of going pretty. It's not going great, but it's going okay. Anyway, the shots by Ito are now working the leg a little bit, which is weird when you see him usually doing the martial arts thing, but you got to add something to the arsenal. Drops the leg across the leg, so to speak, and kind of keeping that going there. Kick to the back of the leg, and again, Ito going in a positive direction there, drops the elbow, and ultimately some chokes from Poffo. Poffo having enough, I guess, of the heelish tactics of his adversary. Hard shots by Ito, and Ito again coming up with kind of a big body slam there, and doing everything he can along the way to get things going that way. Hard shots by Poffo, and again kicks from underneath. Ultimately, um, big splash 1-2, and ultimately there we go. There, Ito begging off, trying to do everything he can that way, and ultimately doing what he can to choke his man out, using the ropes, using those illegal holds in the chops. Sends Poffo to the outside of the ring. Poffo fighting back in, kind of tripping on his way back in, kind of disorientated and all of that, but manages to continue to be in the face of Ito, and hits some strikes and kind of tries to get chokes there. Longer match than I expected. Crossbody attempted by Poffo. Poffo, though, manages to wind up in the ropes with his opponent, which doesn't exactly go extremely well. Hard shots that way, and right under the chin by Ito, and Ito manages to hit the series of chops and a big splash. 1, 2, and 3. Ito wins the match in different fashion than normal. Then we move to Wrestling 2 against Larry Santana. Always kind of strikes me odd when your main talents go into matches that are, I don't want to say inconsequential, but some of them are. Anyway, Larry Santo manages to keep going here, or Larry Santana. Wrestling 2 with ride time on the headlock, shoulder tackle, a little bit more aggressive than normal. Nothing out of sorts. Not like he's showing heelish tendencies, but you can see just in facial expressions, even through a mask, a little bit more aggression than average out of Wrestling 2. He manages to get some ride time on his adversary here. Tries to shoot the half, and away we go there. Ultimately, we then see Wrestling 2 manage to get back up, and again, a kind of cranking on the head scissors back to the arm bar by two, obviously having a great deal of wrestling holds in that, and that is portrayed throughout this match as one would expect it to be. Santana gets caught with the knee lift under the chin. 1, 2, 3, and Mr. Wrestling 2 is victorious. A chat with the JYD. Basically, JYD says he has gotten fined for getting involved with the Volkov and all of that. He says the fines are worth it, and he feels betrayed by Darso. Basically, the angle between Darso and Volkov and the JYD still there. JYD says there are some things worth fighting for. Being betrayed and negatively affected by the Russians is one of them. He says he paid $2,500 in a fine. He'll do it again. The Russians do jump him from behind or turn this interview into a brawl, so that's there. Then we go to Darso and Volkov against Weingroff and King. You kind of have a bit of predictability there. You see the Russians holding the Russian flag, and as we begin, the Russians obviously have the national anthem play. They're doing all they can, and they're refusing to wrestle until the anthem is played and all of that. Match is pretty well one-sided, as one would imagine it to be. We kind of see the side headlock stuff, and then Darso with the tossing the man out of the corner, and drop kick under the chin by I believe, yeah, Weingroff. Weingroff manages to do everything he can to kind of keep Nikolai neutralized. Doesn't go exactly well, but does get a fireman's carry style takeover into, floats into a pin. Nikolai, with the Snapmare takeover, rakes him with the bootlaces and all of that. Tag off to Darsaw. Darsaw manages to hit a clothesline a little high, almost into the throat area, but that seems to be the idea anyway. Um, and then we see a, I guess you'd say a launch pad kind of movement with the hot shot. And um, King comes in. King doesn't get too far either. Ducks his head, and Volkov manages to cut him off. I don't even know that there was a tag between the baby faces there, but the referee doesn't seem to stop it, so maybe there wasn't. I missed it. Anyway, a hot shot over the top rope by Volkov. Volkov continues with the aggression, managing to go after King, and King gets kicked in the side of the head. Volkov and Darsaw doing a good bit of double teaming. Darsaw eventually brings the man in and gets the hanging backbreaker for the submission victory. Then we move to Jim Neidhart and Jerry Gray as your, I guess you'd say, semi-main event position anyway on the program. And Jerry Gray, an enhancement talent at this point, making his way around. He's pretty happy with what's here. Neidhart, again, still seems unfinished with Butch Reed, but I don't know that they ever pay that feud off completely. Don't know enough about 1984 Mid-South to say for sure. Anyway, Neidhart manages to come up and short knee into the midsection with a kick to the midsection and a big body slam. Neidhart tries to use the ring to his advantage, brawling as much as he can. Neidhart then uses some cheating tactics along the way, along with the power. Uses the buckle and other sundry objects, among other things. Irish whip and big clothesline by Neidhart. Neidhart, manages to get things up across the shoulders and a big vertical Samoan drop for the loss there. Tom Letts and Terry Taylor will close the program. They've got about 5 minutes or so left, and Letts obviously has been a good enhancement talent. Again, a guy I would say that certainly has more in him than enhancement, but maybe it just never came together for him. Anyway, Taylor's been on a roll as of late in major storylines all across the area, and he will continue to be that. Leapfrogs and a monkey flip by Taylor. Taylor showing good babyface fire, goes to work on the arm of his adversary and kind of stays there for a little bit. Taylor with a monkey flip out of the corner. Monkey flip seemed to be a popular thing for Terry Taylor in this particular on this particular occasion, and he goes back to work on the arm of his adversary to the best of his ability. Letts tries to and does manage to rake the eyes of his opponent and goes for a series of tackles there. Meanwhile, Taylor out the back door, hitting a few shots along the way, and manages to do everything he can. Irish whip, back elbow by Terry Taylor, and again, off we go. Irish whip again, and the flying 5-arm, 1, 2, and 3. And they highlight the championship tournament. They talk about the replacement of Hacksaw Reed and Jim Neidhart and all of the people that will be moving forward. Masahito has moved forward. And then, where it ends up going and who ends up being in the final and wins $10,000 and a medal. They're not really sure. But anyway, who's going to get buys, and they kind of go through all of that. But anyway, that will move us into next week. We'll be back with more action right after this.